What's up, what's up, what's up? Just a Egyptian in the house. Okay, so I'm going to start a new series about, talking about straighten up black neighborhoods and different things like that. Help black men, grown men, young men, gangbangers and things like that to really take a better look, better roads, better everything concerning your life. I am a firm believer that life is not difficult. It's very easy, and I think the most important thing, or the most difficult thing, or the biggest problem that we have is just our thinking, and that's it. And most of our thinking is most likely and more than likely is pretty much determined on our feelings. I've made these videos called Free Your Mind, and I'll put the playlist in the description. And if you can, please watch them all. The first one was about, it just came off the top of my head. Most of my videos, they just pop in my mind, and I just, point, shoot, and talk, and that's it. Okay, even this one also. But watch those, watch them all, and they're very good, very helpful. These video series are going to be very, very helpful. It might cause some problems and stuff with government or whatever, because of monetary things and things like that. I'm not sure, but it will help you to be able to find yourself and to change. Another thing too is that a lot of people are really trapped because of religion. So there are a lot of Christians out there, and black people are really into that. And and all it is just your feelings. But until you're able to understand this and be able to use your mind instead of your feelings, which you trigger yourself to worship whatever God you're worshiping, then you're always going to be stuck, and you're always going to be influenced by hormones that's just releases and going and do their normal thing, which is to numb your body, pretty much, and get you excited maybe for sex and stuff. But but those things aren't important, as far as intellect and to getting your life in a better situations and better conditions. You need your mind to do that, and your mind and your emotions are not connected at all. They're two separate entities. They got their own individual work. They do not interfere with each other. The only thing is that the emotions have more control over the body because of the fluids that flow reacts in a way where your body must respond, and there's pretty much nothing that your mind can do to stop that reaction once the hormones have been released. However, your mind, your mind, you actively or voluntarily create images in your mind, and then you release your hormones yourself based on whatever your imagination is. So the best thing to do about that is stop creating images, to stop thinking, and what I mean is don't go dumb, and stuff like that. But I mean, don't create a situation. In other words, you might see your friend and your best friend and your girlfriend coming down the street. Well, the first thing people are going to do is create some image that they were doing something, and then you're going to, based on that guess, because that's all it is until you ask, based on that guess, you're going to come to a conclusion, and then based on that conclusion that you guessed, you're going to create an emotion, a reaction, and based on that reaction, concerning that reaction, you're just going to fuel, which is releasing your adrenaline, to make your body act out that act that you created in your mind, and you have these endorphins, what comes through, and it takes the pain that adrenaline causes when it when it puts your body and your muscles under this strain, and it makes you feel good, because it just relaxes your body a lot, so it makes you feel good, and then because it takes away the pain, so it gotta make you feel good. Basically, just relax your body really, really good, and then based on that good feeling, you've been taught to do things by your feeling. Well, if you feel it in your heart, it's the right thing to do. And that's absolutely false. It's 100%. If you feel in your heart, you better stop and wait and think, before you do it. Wait a couple of minutes and it'll go away. At the max 3 minutes and it'll go away. And think with your mind. Okay. Another thing also is that a lot of people think that motivation is caused by stress and things like that. Motivation, stress, you have to understand, they have many syllables, but all it is just pressure. And pressure is, a massage causes stress. It's just pressure, and that pressure can release, hormones from your body. You can do it. Even bass, somebody's talking in bass and it'll make you horny. Don't believe me? Then, talk to your parents when they went to concerts and listened to was it Barry White? Is that him with the deep voice? And it's a man singing, and men and women in there getting horny because of the bass, and because I guess it's dense and it's going through and it's hitting those hormones, and it's releasing those fluids and stuff. So you really might have to think about studying anatomy and things like that, so that it'll tell you about these things, because those feelings that you have are just all natural, and most of them most of the time you're voluntarily releasing those hormones yourself, and it has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with anything spirituality. It's just your body, and you're just getting high off your own emotions. Your own hormones, basically. That's what's going on. So with that said, I think I'll move on. I think it was something else. Oh, and intellectually, your mind is always telling you what to do. You just have to sit, relax. That's how these monks, they just sit and they meditate. And basically, you just stand still and stop, thinking about Nickelodeon or watching TV, or what your girl is doing or what you got to do for work. Just don't think about anything. And when you relax, your mind is going to start telling you what to do. And basically, it's not even exactly what to do as far as giving you commands, but it's going to say, hey, get this information, get that information, get this information. And basically that's what it's doing. And as it gets this information, you'll start to understand things and start putting things together. It's like putting puzzles together. You understand math and sciences and whatever, and you understand how they work. And since everything can be put together in a way where it creates things, because everything's a building block, then as you understand, you'll be able to create more. And so that's all your mind is really doing. That's all your mind can do. It's just get information, process it, and create. Gain input, output, and all the other things that's going on in your mind is just things that you're dreaming up of, and just suggestions, and if you those are the thoughts and stuff that usually, more than likely, are going to get you in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to address gangbangers and different men and women, also children, and the things that I say are just really simple things that you can do. But you have to understand that the world we live in, all these laws and stuff, some of these laws and things like that, they are pretty much against nature. So in other words, when a police tells you, like if a police hits you for no reason, but you can't hit them back, that's really against nature, because nature, your body, whether you want to do it or not, your body automatically reacts to defend itself from danger. So when they sit in there and they're just deliberately doing something and hurting you for no reason. And I can understand if you did something first and then they're retaliating and it can't stop because it's depending on how much adrenaline that they've released, they got to keep doing it until it goes away, because that's what adrenaline does, is make your body move and stuff. It's kind of hard to stop because of the feeling that's good, and you keep releasing and keep feeling, keep releasing, keep doing the same thing, and in those situations, then it's probably best not to defend yourself in a way where you don't have to keep provoking it. But I mean, you do have people, police officers, and just come up and just do things, and then the law says you can't defend yourself, and if they're only attacking, and I'm not saying they only attack black people, you watch YouTube, and it happens to a lot of people, and what you have to think is, you have to take these officers and take the word away, and they're just human beings just like you are, and they're perfectly susceptible to everything that you are too. So if you want to change things, you have to change yourself, understand that, and put things, start doing the same. And some people, they don't want to change, but things have to change, and people do change, and people will change, but a lot of people do need help, and there's different ways to help. So I'm going to talk about a lot of these things. Now, I talk about the police and other things like this, but when I was growing up in Los Angeles, I had absolutely no problem with police officers. When I was in Venice, Inglewood, I didn't really see them over in Inglewood. When I moved to Venice, they rolled through something. I got stopped, but every time I got stopped, they always get a call or something happens, within like 1 minute. I don't even really get a chance to even pull out my ID card, and they're like, all right, just go. It happened in Santa Monica. Once I got stopped in Hollywood by some sheriffs, and me and my friend, and they were out there talking about I was whatever, and I had a warrant. I was telling them I didn't have it, but they didn't find. I guess back in those, I can't say they weren't. In those days, I just didn't get in trouble, and I'm thinking it was probably more or less my vocabulary than it was anything else, because of vocabulary, when you're talking to people, your vocabulary is very important, and vocabulary does demand respect, it really does. So when people are talking to you, if you have a very good command of your words and vocabulary and stuff like that, then you'll have a better life overall, and not because necessarily people will treat you better, but you'll be able to understand. There's something I said in one of my other videos, which I'm going to quit this within a few minutes, is that when you have a vast vocabulary, your vocabusing, depending on how big it is, it opens the doors to all conversations. And you could be sitting in a restaurant or whatever, sitting next to some guys, some billionaires that you won't even know, and they're talking about investing in these private companies and their stocks and exchange and blah blah blah. And if you have that kind of vocabulary, you'll understand exactly what they're saying, and they could be saying like, just call such and such a number and blah 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 blah, and you can get this and that, and invest in this and that, and in a couple of months it's going to triple, quadruple, whatever, and you understand the vocabulary, and maybe your friend don't, but you're probably thinking your friend does or whatever. Your friend could be talking crap, then you go home, make the phone call, you got the money, shoot the money in, next thing you know, you'll be rich, so vocabulary is very, very important. I think that's probably the biggest thing, that's the only thing that separates black children and white children and Asian children, in schools, is just the vocabulary. But I'll talk about that later, because I want to be able to upload everything from my phone. I'm out. Peace.